Well, the Bible just gets more true as time goes on. So, it talks about the fake Jews. Could be so many different people. So many. Everybody's heard about the Ashkenazi Jews. Yeah, from Germany. And everybody rips all over them because they're the Europeans. But then there's these Sephardic Jews that came from Spain, and they aligned more with the Muslim traditions because they were under Muslim rule, or Catholicism, because they were under Catholic rule. But they were also persecuted too throughout history. And so they had issue with the Ashkenazi Jews. Of course. Everybody have an issue with everybody. All because it's our traditions. I mean, I get it, but then everybody wants to blame America, which that's where it's like, oh, please. America was the place where everybody could just try to, practice what you want, unless what you're wanting to do is overtake America. And look at, we have a lot of people doing that. But here's why I'm bringing this up, is because, Kennedy, there's people that have said that the Kennedys were Sephardic Jews. So, I mean, they were Catholics. So, and the Vatican, like Ireland, especially like the IRA, in Ireland, the what is it? The Ireland army. Yeah. So they supported Nazi Germany. They took a neutral stance, which really pissed Churchill off. And Churchill sort of had he had that good side and that bad side to him. In his history, but anyway. But he was really pissed off about it. It's almost like everybody's going to be shaped in a way by whether you did the right thing or not. It's as simple as that. Like, you don't have to like the Jews. You don't have to, you could think, I don't know. I mean, we know what Hitler did. I mean, he was monstrous. He was absolutely an antichrist. Jesus said there many would come that were antichrist. He definitely was one. But people should have been able to do the right thing, regardless of what you think of the Jews or a group of people. That seems to be the biggest problem, is people not being able to do the right thing. I mean, I'm not trying to be judgmental. It's just, come on. So Ireland tried to take this neutral stance, but then there were many saying that, no, they were helping Germany at times with like weather forecasts. And so, and then you look at Ireland's history. Look at what's going on there. Like, if you believe in God, then God talks about, I'm just saying, God talks about, passing judgment on that kind of stuff. But then, putting that aside, I'm not trying to go after Ireland. I'm just saying that, like every country, just look at what's going on inside your country, and then, maybe look to God to see, like, where did we go wrong? And if you were standing on the side of people exterminating people, then, you might want to get right with God. Just might want to think about it, okay? But then, you look at, so the Sephardic Jews, they aligned more with a lot of Muslim traditions. So they have different traditions, but they're Jewish with the Torah. And so they've had run-ins with the Ashkenazi Jews. And then, the whole ego and jealousy thing. And then, it doesn't help that we have the Candace Owens and the whole modern day Nazis, Dave Smith, Tucker Carlson, all of them. They're not helpful, but, they all support Kennedy too. Mm-hmm. I mean, they believe that the Jews killed JFK. And there's no evidence, of course, for that. But Candace every day just pushes propaganda. So we have that problem going on. And, we have all these people saying it's so important about my culture. And it's like, okay. Yeah, we're in America, we're all like, yes, come and worship the way you want, but don't try to overtake our country like the radical Islam is. You don't be doing that stuff. But I think that Kennedys came in not to help America. I'm not saying that's why JFK ended up getting killed. I think he did because his old man was tied to mafia. I think it's sort of like your offspring pays the price for your sins many times. Even RFK Sr. felt that he was going to be he figured he would get killed because he was going after the mob, but he didn't think JFK would get killed before him. But they kind of all thought they would. Yeah. So what a mess, just a total mess, all of it. But it all seems to, this whole history with everybody, it's just, everybody being upset about our group of people suffered more. And I mean, there's no doubt the Jews suffered the most. Let's just face it, the world doesn't like that because those people, many of them that were exterminated were white, okay? So that doesn't serve the narrative of that the black people suffered the most. I'm not going to get into this with if you want to fall into that separation and let's be divided crap, then go ahead. But it seems to me that that's what the problem is in the world, okay? Because there's no doubt that the Jews have just the Bible alone says that they will. I think the problem that the world has is the fact that many of them were white, but not all Jews are white. There's black Jews and there's brown Jews and there's white Jews. It just so happens that it was European Jews that were exterminated by Hitler. He wanted to exterminate them anywhere they were at. It's just that's where he exterminated the most of them because where he was located. But he was, wanting to take over the world and make it strictly German. So all of this, where countries stood, especially if you were, in that area, like where Ireland is, and you took a stance of neutrality. Yeah, that we told Churchill to back off. He was really going after Ireland hard for it. Because he was worried that what would happen was Germany would take over Ireland and then set up a base there. But then, you read that no, Germany, there were people in Ireland that stood with the Nazis. So see, if you can't tell right from wrong, then, you just got to wonder what the DNA is that you have. Because that's an absolute wrong. Even if you think all those whites deserve to be exterminated, or those Jews be exterminated because they were white or whatever, because they were Jews, then something's wrong with your DNA. Something's wrong with your DNA if you want to deny something there's absolute factual evidence, video, testimony, everything for. Something is wrong with you. So, it seems to me, even though everybody says we all need to be united, it seems to me that God is doing a lot of judging and a lot of separating and, seeing where are people going to stand. Because where they stand is where they'll be judged.